morning crypto, wake up, let the chains glow. Money on the rise, yeah, we riding with the payload. Market took a dip, told it, boy, you better stay low. But every time it bounced, I be yelling, that's the halo. Charts move fast, but I move faster. Stacking all my sats, turn the pain into laughter. Whole crew locked in, goals climbing up the ladder. Even through the red, my conviction never shattered. Late night trades got me dreaming in the candlelight. Early morning vibes, watch me levitate the oversight. Talking FUD, nah, I keep my spirit airtight. Bull run coming, I can feel it when the moon ignite. Good morning crypto, wake up, let the chains glow. Money on the rise, yeah, we riding with the payload. Market took a dip, told it, boy, you better stay low. But every time it bounced, I'll be yelling, that's the halo. Every loss a lesson, every win just a checkpoint. Trying to build wealth, not chase every stress point. People want the hype, but I'm looking for the best point. Stacking up the knowledge, profit hitting like a pressure joint. Charts like a heartbeat, pump then it fade. But I stay steady like a trader born for the waves. Early morning grind, yeah, I'm locked and I'm brave. Good morning crypto, every sunrise I made. Good morning crypto, wake up, let the chains glow. Money on the rise, yeah, we riding with the payload. Market took a dip, told it, boy, you better stay low. But every time it bounced, I be yelling, that's the halo. Yeah, it's good morning, crypto. We rise slow, then we let the whole chain grow. No fear, no doubt, let the mindset flow. When the sun comes up, that's the time we go. Yeah, it's good morning crypto. We rise slow, then we let the whole chain grow. No fear, no doubt, let the mindset flow. When the sun comes up, that's the time we go. Yeah, it's good morning crypto. We rise slow, then we let the whole chain grow.
Step 1, wake up early, go rise the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today, we're going over no headlines because we saw quite the sell-off yesterday after a government reopened. We talked about that potentially coming yesterday. That's what we got. And then we got a big sell-off. So we're going to go over some levels, not just on Bitcoin, but on all the assets you want to see today. So if you got something you would like to see some TA on today, go ahead, throw that in the chat. We will start getting that list built up nice and early. Of course, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, but if you got anything else, go ahead and throw it out now. We are seeing a sell-off not just in the crypto side, but also in the TradFi side as well. We got quite the sell-off over there, so let's hop on over, get you prepped for some success today so we know what to expect later. We've got Apple sitting down 0.19 from its close yesterday, continuing to see some sell-off in the pre-market this morning, down 0.4. We've got Nvidia sitting down at 3.58 from yesterday, continuing to see that sell-off this morning, down 2.43%. We got Berkshire Hathaway sitting in the green, up 2.13 from yesterday, continuing to see some buying pressure this morning, up 0.23. We've got Amazon down 2.71. and continuing to see that sell off this morning, down 1.27. We've got Eli Lilly up 0.5% from its close, seeing some selling pressure this morning though, down 0.74. We've got ExxonMobil sitting in the green, up 0.57, and seeing buying pressure this morning as well, up 0.18. We've got Tesla sitting down 6.64% and down 3.95 this morning. We might have to take a look at that Tesla chart. Let me get that one on the list. We've got P&G sitting to the downside as well, down 0.03, but up 0.43 this morning. We've got Microsoft down 1.54, sitting down 0.71% this morning. We've got Google down 2.89, and continuing on that sell-off this morning, down 1.69. Meta closed in the green yesterday, but taking away all of those gains, down 1.28% this morning. Crypto side of things not looking massively different this morning. Let's get on over to those crypto bubbles. A sea of red, a massive sea of red. We've got things like a Link down 10%. Leo token, the one token in the green this morning. Not too unexpected. It is that exchange token. People like to rotate into it when we've got this going on. We've got Bitcoin down 6.6%. Seeing a whole percent down this morning. We've got Ethereum down 10.7. It's crazy. I saw some news coming out the other day that there was a whale that opened a long on Ethereum with like $140 million, and they used leverage on it. I don't know if they're going to be holding that one any longer. We've got XRP down 9.2, BNB down 6.2. We've got Solana down 10.2. Tron sitting down 1.9. We've got Doge sitting down 8.3. We've got Cardano down 9.4. We've got Hyperliquid sitting down 5.8, but taking a spot in the market cap from Chainlink, as Chainlink is sitting down 10.2%. Sitting at that $14, a long ways off from 42. If you know, you know. We've got Bitcoin Cash down 8%, seeing a whole percent down this morning. Stellar Lumens down 10.4%. We've got Leo token up 0.6, starting to see some red on the hourly. Litecoin sitting down 4.6. We've got HBAR dropping 11.6%, down a whole percent this morning. We've got Avalanche down 11.1. We've got Shui, was sitting at number 20 in the market cap, down 11.8%, and seeing a whole 2% down this morning. JR linked to $42. Let's effing go. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be happening. Some people were calling out $42 by the end of the cycle. I think they just missed their selling point. We've got extreme fear on the stock market, not too unexpected after the massive sell-off that we saw yesterday. Crypto side of things still sitting in extreme fear, up a point. I don't know how when you got Bitcoin sitting down 6.6%, but, still sitting in some extreme fear. I do expect to get some bouncing eventually. You can't really stay in extreme fear for too long before you get a little bit of bouncing, so we'll kind of have to keep our eye on that. We've got the only sector up right now is healthcare, and that's one of my other big favorites besides nuclear. So eventually we'll be dropping that healthcare stock list in the Discord. If you are not in the Discord, you are missing out. We've got all the places to put your money while we're in the Bitcoin bear market, besides just shorting Bitcoin. We've got liquidity on that heat map. You gotta zoom it on out though, because look at this 24-hour. We took up all that liquidity we were warning about yesterday, started to pile up a little bit towards the downside, and then we just ate that all up as well. This 3-day is where you start to see a little bit of liquidity heating on up on that heat map. It is all to the upside right now. We've got that 1 week really starting to show that liquidity there. Gotta zoom it on out to that 0.8. That's the one we like to see. As you can see, on the way to the downside, we started grabbing up that liquidity we were talking about yesterday, faked some people out, and then it grabbed up their liquidity that they were longing on. So definitely got quite a bit of liquidity towards the upside. You really got to zoom that on out to see the top side liquidity. We might just be leaving some of that for now. We do have quite a bit of liquidity up at $108,000 to 107. We will kind of have to see if we can start reclaiming some key levels though. We did lose something quite key this morning, and we'll get to that in just a second. We didn't get that government opening back up, but apparently we're not going to get any data for October. They're just like, well, the government's open and screw you on your data. So we'll hop over to that Bitcoin chart, say good morning to the people in the chat. As you can see here, we finally closed out that fair value gap we've been talking about for quite a while. We've got CCM first in the chat this morning. Good morning to you, sir. I hope you're having a great day so far. You're up extra early, so hopefully you've got some coffee in your system. We've got Jay in the chat. Good morning. We've got Al Jr. in here. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day so far. We've got JR, King Degen of the Discord, sitting in the chat this morning. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's see. We've got Steve Hickey in here. Good morning. We've got Darren Does Things. He said blood in the streets. Yes, most definitely. I'm looking at this as a potential buy opportunity. We'll just kind of have to see where we get to on some stocks, because there was definitely some downside levels I was talking about on some key stocks yesterday morning. We got to some key levels, and I'll probably do some buying today. I don't care if it continues to go a little bit further to the downside. I will just continue to do some buying. You don't get buying opportunities like this very often on some decent stocks. I called one out yesterday on Piper's show, so we'll be taking a look at that one as well. It is a automation robotics company that deals in automation of factories, so big moves coming from that. We've got Donato Cabrera in the house this morning. Good morning to you. We've got maybe a band-aid in here. If you got the band-aids emojis, go ahead and drop them for him. Let's see what he said this morning. We've got, evidently, we are getting some October data, probably not the jobs data, since they didn't do the survey. Well, I saw an article just this morning that said they probably won't release any of the data. But, you know, sometimes the Trump administration likes to change its mind on things. So hopefully we get some data, because the Fed kind of needs that data to operate on if we're going to get a rate cut in December or not. To operate on half of the data might break things more than it helps things. We've got All Set in the chat this morning, and we got my buddy Cam sitting over there on X. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great Friday so far. I know he's getting ready for some work, but as you can see on this Bitcoin chart, we continued our downtrend. We were talking about a level we would need to hold if we wanted to remain a little bit bullish here. That was our support level at $101,000. Let's zoom this on out just a little bit further. Take a look at that weekly chart so you can see our support level that we had ranging from the whole bull run. Let's get that quote out of there. As you can see, this one runs all the way from back here. It runs all the way from back there. I don't have it pulled up from that far, but this has been our support our entire run so far. And with this candle this morning, we are dropping to the downside of it. We will kind of have to see if we can find some support before and pull back towards the upside of it, or if we're going to drop all the way down to this fair value gap at $92,000 all the way down to $88,000. So if we are dropping that low, it might be a little bit painful, but we could potentially see a little bit of bouncing after that, try to get a pull back up to our support line that we held the entire bull run, and then continue our way towards the downside. We are looking like we could see a little bit of some cool off coming on the weekly with that prime oscillator, but that money flow is going to be the big concern here. Definitely getting some harsher curvature to the downside on that MACD on the weekly. We will kind of have to see if we can find any support directly below us at that fair value gap, or if we find something in the shorter term time frame to kind of hold us on up. Let's get on over to that daily and see what's going on there. As you can see, let me get that zoomed in a little bit better for you. As you can see here, we've continued our downtrend, lower highs, lower lows here, and it looks like that area we were potentially looking for a switch up is going to be just a continuation of those lower highs. We were looking for a little bit of a hold up at our fair value gap yesterday. We talked about the potential of coming towards the downside, though. We had a few levels to keep our eye on, and we shattered through all of those. We're not seeing any buying pressure really stepping on in here, but we've got these oscillators nice and cooled off. We do have that prime oscillator still sitting in the red, though. We got our second clipping on out on that one. Our money flow is the big concern here. As that volume continues to climb, it has just come with harsher and harsher selling pressure. So we'll kind of have to see if we can find any semblance of a bottom here. We might get a little bit of a pushback up on the shorter term time frame towards the bottom side of our fair value gap. That was $97,780. That's also quite close to where that support line was for our entire bull run. If we can get to the upside, we could see a little bit more moves towards the upside there, but I would look at that 236 coming in as our resistance area. That's $99,066. Let's get this zoomed on in. Take a look at the hourly here. As you can see, we got that New York AM repeating what it did the day before, with that harsh sell-off immediately into it. New York AM did the same thing yesterday, got that push towards the bottom side of that fair value gap, tried to hold it, grabbed up some liquidity, and continued towards the downside with Asia market. We are sitting directly below that support line this morning with London's open, and we will kind of have to see if New York can switch some of this up, or if we're just going to continue on this sell-off here, because we do have a bottoming indicator. We've got 4 reversal signals that have flashed, but the big holdup is this money flow, because we have continued to see that increased selling pressure, and it's really, really hard for anyone to absorb the amount of sell-off that we've been seeing. We'll kind of have to see now if we get some continued sell-off out of the TradFi side, because as I was warning, we got a bunch of buying on the tops. We had a bunch of companies trying to make Bitcoin treasuries and borrowing on the Michael Saylor strategy, but they were doing so at the top. How much of this pain can they really eat before they start selling off? And that will cause even harsher moves towards the downside. So keep your eye on that money flow. It is continuing on the sell off on all of these time frames here. We do have that 15-minute and the morning starting to look just a little bit positive here. We are still sitting in some heavy red money flow, but we do have several bullish divergences here that have come on the prime oscillator and the MACD. So we'll kind of have to see if that can give us that push back up to our support line around 97,300. That'd be an area I'd kind of look for some resistance at, considering how heavy the money flow has been on that sell-off. London continued on that move towards the downside, a whole lot easier than trying to fight the trend for now. We do have plenty of selling pressure that could just negate all of those bullish divergences though. Yes, bull divs, do your poop, says JR. I hope, it does give you a little bit of some ability to push up, because you'll start to see a slow up on the selling pressure. But the big thing that we're seeing here is that selling pressure is maintaining quite nicely. It does cool off just a little bit, continues on towards the downside, and we're getting that continuation towards the downside as London continues. So a lot of sell pressure to really get above. That's why we're looking for a resistance area towards the top side to continue that trend, and that would have been our bull market support. So we've got a few alt requests this morning. JR, Darren, tell your market maker buddies to buy Solana. Please, I need to exit in profit. Goodness, JR. Let's take a look at Sol too. We got any other alt requests to take a look at, or some stock requests? We can take a look at all of those. We got All Set in the house. We've got Conspiracy Crypto in here as well. JR dropping those bear emojis. If you got them, go ahead, drop them in the chat. We are seeing quite the sell-off this morning. I only need 143, not asking for the moon. Well, the next best time to sell off is right now. So DXY woke up with a lot of coffee, I see. Well, let's take a look at that real quick. I was looking at the TLT. It has been continuing to see a little bit of sell-off. This is in comparison with gold too. As you can see, that blue line is the gold, and we're seeing quite the inversion on that chart. Not overwhelmingly positive. So let's take a look at the Dixie though. Let's get gold off of there. We don't want to compare with gold with the Dixie. We want to look at that trend on the Dixie here. We are starting to see a little bit of bouncing at a level we were looking for some support at. Not too unexpected. This has been our support for several years now, going back to 2011. We do have that heavy resistance that we've continued to see rejections off of as well. Let's get this zoomed on in, because this is sitting at the monthly chart here. Let's get a fib level pulled on up first. Computer, quit trying to update. We do that on the weekends. Let's get a fib level pulled from our lows to our high here. See what's going on. Looking like that golden pocket is still our resistance level here. We've got IVVD requested. Let's see. Is that going to be a stock, Steve Hickey? Because if it is, I will put it on the stock side. But let me know, and we will take a look at that. We do see that Dixie continuing to struggle with the golden pocket. It has been our area that we've been calling out for it for quite a while here. We did get that nice little move above that, and then immediately drop back down. So we do have a few levels to kind of keep our eye on here. We were seeing that resistance at our local resistance there at 100.32. Nice little rejection off of the Dixie, and continuing to see a curvature back towards the downside. This morning we are trying to pull back above that golden pocket. We do have those higher lows, so it looks like in the shorter term time frame it is in a little bit of an uptrend here, but we've got that strong resistance directly above us. Let's get that horizontal ray drawn on out off of that wick there. That is our stronger resistance area. Let's make it a little bit thicker so we know it's a higher term time frame resistance. Let's see. IVVD is a stock. All right. Got it on the stock side for you. All right, as you can see here, we're trying to get some more cool off on these oscillators. Daily does need a little more cool off here, as that MACD has broken to the bottom side of our indicator line. We've got that heavy curvature to the downside on that prime oscillator as well. Starting to see an increase of volume here though, so we'll kind of have to see if we can get some buying up on the bonds here. Let's see what's going on that hourly. Hourly is ranging a little bit sideways underneath that golden pocket. You can see we've done this over and over again and then got that rejection. This was a nice little deviation up to our resistance area. We failed to hold the golden pocket. We got one bounce off of it, two bounces off of it, and then came back towards the downside there. Every single time we've lost that golden pocket, you can see the harsh correction that we've got here. So we did try to hold it back here and got those rejections off of it, and then extremely harsh move towards the downside. Same thing over here. We got that nice little bounce above it, created a nice little fair value gap that we moved directly back through and then failed to get back up towards the golden pocket. Same thing here, got that small move above the golden pocket, tried to hold it, failed to hold it, got our secondary push towards the golden pocket, and then lost it quite harshly. So keep your eye on this. This is a worrisome level all over again. You could see that harsher correction towards the downside as we've lost that golden pocket. Dixie looking extremely toppy here on the hourly as well, failing to really get any break above our zero line on that MACD. Let's get it zoomed in a little more. Failing to really get that break, and we're starting to see that sideways momentum there. Also seeing the curvature here on that prime oscillator with our first reversal signal. Doesn't mean we don't get a secondary push up towards our golden pocket before a harsher correction though. So Dixie breaking that trend towards the upside here, and we'll kind of have to see if we can hold these levels down here at about 98.57. Let's get that first support drawn on out there. The area that would be preferable is directly below us here. You can see 99.97 is where we got that bouncing. If we want to keep our uptrend here on the macro, we need to hold that level. Otherwise, we're looking for a change of trend there. So that is our short-term support area to kind of keep your eye on. If we lose that, looking like we might be changing trend on the Dixie. Let's see what's going on with some gold, and then we'll get into some of those requests this morning. As you can see, we had a few levels that we were keeping our eye on for gold. We finally got that fair value gap closed on out here. Let's color that in black so we know it's closed. As you can see, we were looking for that rejection off of $4,205. Pretty much exactly what happened on some gold before we got that rejection towards the downside to close out that fair value gap. We're potentially looking for $4,155 to be our support area. We got a little bit of some wicks to the downside of that before we got that bounce back up towards resistance and continued towards the downside there. So definitely looking like that fair value gap is going to be a little bit of some resistance for now. As you can see, we bounced up against that this morning. Really seeing some bottoming here on the shorter term time frame, but let's get that zoomed on out. Take a look at that 4 hour here. 4 hour, seeing those bearish divergences and a peak seeker coming on in as well as that MACD gets that harsher curve towards the downside, starting to print those big red candles on the histogram there. And our only holdup here is our money flow. So we'll kind of have to see if we can get that holdup at $4,110. Looks like Keith has to head on out this morning. I will see you this evening, sir. I hope you have a great Friday. Let's see what's going on that hourly here on gold. As you can see, we are seeing a little bit of some buying pressure stepping on in as we try to get that push back into our fair value gap. But that money flow sitting in the red here. We are a little bit bottomed on that prime oscillator here. We did see our first reversal signal, but we're not seeing a secondary reversal signal just yet, and continuing with that sell-off after the rejection of the bottom side of that fair value gap. Oh, looks like no crypto on the rocks tonight. Well, bummer. I was hoping for a little bit of fun tonight, but I hope you have a good Friday then, sir. I will see you Monday, bright and early, or at your normal time frame if you don't get up that early. We are seeing that nice little sell-off continuing this morning. We are looking for that bounce, like I said, at $4,110. If we break below all of that, we will kind of have to see if we make our way all the way back down here. We do have a few levels to kind of hold us on up at. Directly below that, that'd be 4,997. Let's get that horizontal ray drawn on out for you. You can see that was where we got that rejection off of, and we got our price holding up at below that one line on our fib extensions. So few levels towards the downside. Would look at that one line first, $4,110, and if not, looking directly below that, and if we don't hold that, it doesn't look too pretty. So that was gold for you. Let's get into some of these alt requests here. We did want to take a look at some stocks this morning. We had a SMR, one we were calling out yesterday. I didn't end up doing some buying on the bottom line of that CME gap that we were looking at getting closed. Let's color that in black so we know it's closed now. We were looking for that 50% line to be a little bit of a bouncing area, continuing with that sell-off, but we're now at a level we can start to see some bouncing at. If we start seeing that little bit of money flow coming back in, we've got several bullish divergences stacked up here. The money flow is our big concern. It's still in the red, and pre-market opening up heavily towards the downside. So might look for a little bit of bouncing at that 382 and $21.10. Let's get over to SYM. That was that one we were calling out the other day in Piper's show. It is seeing a little bit of a open towards the downside, but directly on a CME gap from way back here. Let's get that zoomed on out to the daily so you can see it just a little bit better there. We've got this old CME gap that I'd look to potentially see a bouncing at. We saw heavy resistance off of it before. Let's get that pulled on up there. As you can see, that was a little bit of resistance at the bottom side. We are directly on that. Saw a little bit of buying pressure at that midline, potentially looking for $54.33. Let's get that locked. We do have another little level. I don't know why it didn't come from my charting on my tablet, but we will get those horizontal rays drawn on out directly below us. We do have a few levels to look for some bouncing at. $41.58 is going to be one of those levels there. We do have a little level back up here at about $49.62. This is looking quite a bit better than a bunch of these other stocks that we have seen. That secondary level, that first level to kind of look at, $50.62. I know Piper was kind of talking about that level as well. We'll kind of have to see if we can get some bouncing at that. If not, looking for $41.50 58 cents here. Let's get that fib pulled on up from our lows to our highs. As you can see, that golden pocket comes quite in line with that $41.58. That 50% line is $50.62. So those are those levels to kind of keep your eye on. We are trying to hold our old CME gap first. If we do lose that, $50.62 looks quite nice. You can still come all the way down to that 41.58 and hold above that 200. Continue with that trend towards the upside there. That would be very equal lows down there. So 50.62 really holds that bullish structure with a higher low and gives you the ability to cool off those dailies quite nicely. We do need a little more cool off there. Money flow still sitting in the green, so that's why we'd look for a little bit of some bouncing unless we see some massive change of trend. We did get a little bit of bouncing at the midline of that CME gap. We tried to hold it and pre-market, seeing the sell-off across the board there. So really seeing some nice bottoming here. We will kind of have to see if we get that first little bounce at $54.09. And if we continue that trend towards the downside there. So we did have a few other stocks to take a look at. IVVD. Haven't heard of that one, but let's see what's going on with it. IVVD. That is on the stocks. Let's see. Nice little uptrend here. Health technology, biotechnology. That's one of my favorite sectors. I guess we'll get this one added to our healthcare stocks. Here it is. Add symbol. IVVD. We will add that one on the list so we can keep track of it there. All right. Nice little uptrend and continuation. We are seeing that move directly up to resistance there. As you can see, this was a resistance area to kind of keep your eye on. Massive CME gap. Could potentially see a little bit of sell-off off of that. Let's see what's going on those higher term time frames though. We will get a local fib pulled on up from our highs to our lows here. See what's going on. And then we'll get some horizontal rays drawn on up for you. Nice little move to the 382 and rejection down, seeing a bounce at the 236, and then a move to the 50% line, which was also that resistance from back there. We will kind of have to see if we can hold this area here. That's $2.76. Looks like you are seeing just a little bit of sell pressure stepping on in this morning in the pre-market, but can definitely continue that trend. We do have a few levels directly towards the downside. Nice little equal candle bodies there. Let's get that horizontal drawn on up to potentially see a little bit of bouncing at $2.51 if we do see some sell off. Nice little area to kind of keep your eye on. If not, coming back down to that 382 and $2.20 might be the move to watch for on that one. Not really sure too much about this stock, so I'll have to dive a little further into it sometime over the weekend. We do have some levels towards the upside to potentially keep your eye on as well. Nice little resistance area there, $3.15. We got 3 rejections off of that on the daily time frame there. So nice little area directly towards the upside to kind of see if we can get back up to that golden pocket. Would be the level above that. If you continue to see some strong buying pressure stepping on in, that's $3.36. So we did see price hold up there a few times before we got that break below, push back up, and harsh correction towards the 382. So few levels towards the upside to kind of keep your eye on as we continue to see this battle at the 50. If we do lose it, 251 would be a nice little bounce zone to try to get back up to 315 there. All right, let's see what was going on with some Solana. I didn't see any other requests there. Let's take a look at Sol first, and then we can potentially take that look at Tesla. It was seeing a harsh sell-off as well. We were looking for a level to hold here. That was 147.90. We'll have to see. Let's clear out some of those shorter term time frame areas. We got some harsh rejections off of that. That was an older level we were looking for. We will kind of have to see now if we can get our way back up to 147. We are continuing to see that roll over this morning. Let's get that zoomed on out. Take a look at the daily here. See if we can get some bouncing down here at 130. That'd be that first level I'd kind of keep my eye on. Pulled from equal candle bodies back there. We got those nice bouncing off of it there. We did try to hold that level there. You can see the wicks got that after a nice little liquidity grab towards the downside and a bounce off the golden pocket. So few areas directly towards the downside. We will see if we can get that bouncing at our current level, 136, basically 137 there. That's a horizontal from back here. Let's get that drawn on up for you. If we don't hold that, looking down to 130 might be the move to kind of watch for on that. We are seeing some bottoming on the daily, but that money flow is looking extremely ugly here. So don't try to long until you get some confirmations here. I would look for a little bit of bouncing down there at 130, especially if we're going to see this continued move towards the downside there. Bitcoin at 95,000 already. So continuing on its sell off, we do have that hourly. And with this money flow being a big concern, as you can see that harsh correction, we got that nice little curvature back down on that prime oscillator as well, as this money flow just continues to come out. Potential to see some short-term bouncing at 137. We are getting that MACD breaking below that indicator line all over again. Prime oscillator getting that curvature back down too. Went from light red to green back to red extremely quickly as we continue to see that sell off there. Let's see what's going on with that 15-minute in the morning. 15-minute in the morning looking nice and bottomed, so that's where I'd look for a little bit of some short-term bouncing. We do have 137 coming in as that level. We would have to get above the highs from back here though to really continue any kind of bullishness. That's a 142. I'd probably look for some rejections down here at about 140 though. So 140.86 would be that area I'd kind of keep my eye on the short-term time frame there. Let's get that drawn on out as a short-term horizontal there. If we can get above that, really hold some support on that level, we could get those stronger moves back up to 147. We would have to get above some of these levels first though. That was 143 as that other short-term horizontal. We got two rejections off of that level there. As you can see, bounce off of 140, rejected off of 143, and then really continued towards the downside quite heavily. So definitely starting to look a little bit bottomed here, but with the money flow continuing to come back out here on the shorter term time frame, we'll just have to see what New York decides to do. If we got those nice cool offs on those oscillators and we see that slow up of the selling pressure, we could start to get some bouncing this morning. But don't fade that money flow. It has been looking extremely worrisome. Even Trump said something about it yesterday. He was like, we opened the government up after like 41 days and y'all decide to sell off. And it's like, well, yeah, some of us over here at the Piper Academy, we're talking about the government opening back up, not being bullish, while a whole bunch of other people were like, yay, government open, this is going to be bullish, all your assets go to the upside. And I said it was a sell the news event, and it looks like it was a sell the news event for sure. I know Silver Days XRP is in the house, so he probably wants to see some Z back. Let's get that one pulled on up since we didn't get to take a look at it yesterday. Let's see what's going on with some Z back. There we go. We got that move towards the upside yesterday. Rejected off of the top side of that fair value gap. It looks like this is finally closed on out. Let's get that closed on out for you. And it looks like that bottom side is resistance. We didn't hold up our level at 00319. We just got that continuation towards the downside there. We are at some levels where you could start to see some bouncing on the shorter term time frame. But let's get this pulled on up, see what's going on in that 4 hour. 4 hour, starting to see some hidden divergences coming out. We will kind of have to see if this actually does come with a little bit of some money flow coming on in, because we are in that little bit of a deviation from our trend. We will kind of have to see if we can get some bouncing directly below us, or if we just continue with that sell off. Let's get this one pulled on up. We do have, it looks like we're basically at the point of control for this range here. We got that nice little move below it. We are looking a little bit bottomed here, but the big worries here is we're starting to see that curvature on that MACD heavily below our zero line. We're getting that curvature on the prime oscillator as well. You're not really seeing any strong volume coming in, so we will kind of have to see if we can get some bouncing directly below us at 00301. That'd be that first little level to kind of keep your eye on. Very equal candle bodies on the daily there. We got that nice little wicking action off of it as well. As you can see, nice little wick off of it. Equal candle bodies to hold it. We will kind of have to see if we can get some bouncing at that level, or if we get some continuation below that. Let's get that as a higher term time frame there, because that is from the daily. Let's get this zoomed on in. Take a look at that hourly. 4 hour was looking nice and bottomed, but hourly looking like you can definitely continue to see a little more sell off here as you're getting that curvature back towards the downside. We'd really need to see some strong money flow coming on in here. So a short term bouncing level directly below us with how that shorter term time frame was looking would be off of those equal candle bodies there. Let's get that horizontal drawn on up, make it a shorter term time frame level there for you. That's 0030066. So equal candle bodies there. Could see a little bit of a move below it before you start seeing that stronger buying pressure stepping on in. Hourly is trying to battle with our curvature towards the downside. We do have that light red candle here on that histogram. Really seeing a little bit of buying pressure stepping on in this morning though. As you can see, we've got this nice green candle we are printing directly right now. We will kind of have to see if we can get back up to some levels up here though. That'd be where I'd look for some continued rejections, especially with how that higher term time frame is looking. That's 00313 to see a little bit of some rejections at. We got those equal candle bodies there. Nice little bounce off of it before we got up to the bottom side of the fair value gap and continued towards the downside. We're looking quite bottomed here on the 15-minute, so bullish divergence. 2 reversal signals flash. Really need a third to continue with some bullishness. Would need to get above 00315 to really see that continued bullish towards the upside. But you do have that heavy resistance at 0032159. That's the bottom side of that fair value gap that we rejected off of twice. If we can get above some of those levels, we do have 00326 coming in as the midline of that fair value gap. That's where we got some battle with as well. That'd be that next level towards the upside. But if you start losing some of these levels and you can't get above them, looking down to 00301 would be that move I'd look for the bottom side. I see Alexandra G in the chat this morning. Good morning to you, Mod Queen. Hope you're having a great day so far. So as we've been seeing the sell-off across the board. Heavy sell-off in the pre-market, everything looking towards the downside. We did see a little bit of a slow up on some of that, but Nvidia continuing to see some harsh corrections towards the downside this morning. We've got Amazon continuing to see that move towards the downside. Tesla continuing to see that move towards the downside. And across the board in crypto as well, we're continuing to see that move towards the downside. As you can see now, we're trying to get a little bit of bouncing action, and we will have to see if we can get it back up to 97,300 before we can get any kind of stronger moves towards the upside there. So keep your eye on that money flow this morning. Things are looking iffy across the board. But make sure to tune in to the other shows on the Piper Academy so that you can be properly prepared for the day. We've got that breakdown of our macro data every single morning at 10 a.m. here on the Piper Academy. That is the place to be if you like to know what is going on, because we were sitting in limbo for quite a while. We will see if we get any kind of idea of what we might get going forward on the morning market report today. We've got that government opening and a lot of information coming out about that as well. We've also got trading with OC every single weekday at 7 p.m. That is a place to be if you like to trade, if you like to make money, and you like to put on a tinfoil hat and go over some crazy theories. But until the next time, make sure to wake up, because today's going to be a good day.
Wake up, let's run it. Charts up, we love it. Backpack, we done it. GM, good morning, we run it. Sunrise hits like a highlight reel. Coffee poured, yeah, this grind feel real. Wallet looking healthy like a post-gym meal. Crypto fam locked in, no off-day deals. Throwing shade, now we throw confetti. Market bounce back, hands strong, we steady. Dreams too big, so the doubts feel petty. Bull mode hitting, hope you're ready. We ain't stressing, we pressing, blessing the session. Turn every rejection to fuel for progression. Charts look clean, yeah, the vibe is a weapon. We build every day, this is compounding lessons. GM, we rise, we go. Good morning, crypto, steal the show. GM, get hype, let's grow. Another day up, yeah, we glow. Hands to the sky like let's get paid. Chase big goals, not just upgrades. GM bowl energy all day. Smile up, we're built this way. No fear, just flips and vibes. Turning old dreams into real life strides. Hard days hit, we don't divide. Team eats together when the market rides. Tap in early, that sunrise hustle. Bear tried to break us, couldn't touch muscle. Stack small wins, that's compound muscle. Every new block, another flex, no struggle. Climb fast, no breaks, no doubt. Big cheers when the green breaks out. Crypto fam in the chat, full shout. We don't clock in, we break out. 3 a.m. we rise, we go. Good morning, crypto, steal the show. GM, get hype, let's grow. Every candle's just fuel, let's blow. We don't watch life, we make waves. Another sunrise, another brave day. GM fam, let's go be great. Good morning, crypto, press play. Wake up, smile.